All right, Public Works, Whitman DPW Commissioners meeting, April 9th, 6 o'clock. Anyone would like to speak in a public forum?
I guess no.
Nope. We have the meeting minutes from March 12th.
Just want to make an amendment. I mean, I know the gentleman didn't speak it, but over at the, I guess, page 2, where it says Mass DOT, probably 3/4 of the way down the page, just so we're all on the same page, we know that it's South Ave at Pleasant and Franklin Street. It says Mass DOT will want us to look into traffic control. Used to be two-way stop and switch to a four-way, and the amount of accidents have decreased. I know they're talking South Ave, and I assume it's Pleasant and Franklin. Can we just amend the minutes so that it has that in it?
We can certainly do that. So just note that it's the South Ave, Franklin.
Yeah, it's South Ave, Franklin, Pleasant, whatever.
Intersection.
That intersection. Okay.
Good.
Other than that, I'll make a motion that the minutes, yeah.
Except the amended.
Except the amended minute meetings as
read.
Read. Oh,
Yeah.
That's
whatever.
Second.
Good.
Second.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Handbook?
My handbook got it's the handbook I printed out several years ago. I think the board members that were here at the time reviewed it, and then that's what we pass out to every new employee on their first day when we're handing them their hard hats, gloves, glasses, just general safety gear.
Okay.
Apparently, some of the men say, "Oh, is he not?" I'm like, "Well, everybody's got one." So I think what we'll do is we'll print out like a copy for every guy, and just say sign the back, just so you acknowledge and you have it. You can keep it. The ones that I gave before, I just didn't have them read. I have them keep also.
Oh, okay.
But, we'll do it again this time. I just, wanted to just let the board know that I was.
Yeah, that they
want to have them sign it and just acknowledge that they've all read it.
Oh, okay.
It goes over just like basic safety procedures and basic rules of our operation. We start at 7, we end at 3, there's a 10-minute coffee break at 9, there's a half-hour lunch, there's a 10-minute coffee break at 2. If you're going to be sick, call us between 6 and 7 a.m. It just goes over all that stuff. Like, if you're a new guy, like, it would answer all your questions, like, what do I do if this is,
They shot in the coffee breaks? I thought they used to be 15 or 20 or something.
10 minutes.
Now they're 10 minutes.
Technically, they're 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I
I know they extended, but still,
I'm not going to write something different.
Yeah, no, okay. Oh, all right, okay.
That's what it says.
Just was asking. Okay.
So the handbook is in a place that you address any issues where people are found compromised, drinking, drugs, things
That's
like
in
that.
the contract.
That's in the contract.
That's in the contract.
Okay.
This is just guidelines of your workday, and safety guidelines that
Got it.
we expect from each employee. Not necessarily contractual stuff, but
Kind of like what PowerPoint presentation kind of. This is what kind of basic kind of.
So it's assumed they do not come to work compromised, right? In any way.
Where are you going with this?
What do you mean?
No, I just want to make sure that they understand that if they come to work, that the proper protocol about, again, not being drunk or drinking or drugs or anything.
Yeah, that's all in the contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a drug and alcohol policy in the
Right.
contract.
Okay.
And
I was going
And
to
it's
touch on that a
it's-
little later when I
it's,
do my superintendent update.
obviously we do routine
Screening.
screening
Yeah.
and random. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
random.
because that's almost like a whole other handbook.
Yeah,
That's in the contract. That's part of the contract.
I think it's better.
like this stuff
there,
is
too.
like a lot of that stuff's in the contract, but not like what do I do if I want to call if I have to call in sick? And,
Okay.
Right.
things like that.
Sounds
So
good.
stuff you've run into. So you see stuff like the hard hat. It has to be worn forward with the gear intact. And there's people, the clowns out there, like, oh, well, yeah, I got it on, but
Yeah,
there's no.
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds good. Good idea.
Sounds like you never.
Yeah,
told
just
me.
it sounds like you're already done. Just make sure that obviously there's no conflicts between this and the contract. Probably the only contractual things are hours of work and like probationary. I mean, everything else in here isn't really
Yeah, 'cause
contract.
they
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actually have a town of workman personnel policies and procedures manual.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Too. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yo, I've seen it. I remember when it came out. When
It's, that's why I'm saying that's probably more like a PowerPoint of
Yeah.
what's kind of in here.
Yeah.
Well, I made that, and I gleaned it from
Yeah.
other handbooks.
So the only thing I would suggest on this, and I've seen other times, is that you have them sign it, but then a supervisor signs and dates it too.
Right, witness the signature.
The witness.
Underneath that.
Yeah.
Right.
Another few lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could have them sign it in front of me, and I can just
Correct.
initial it and date it
Exactly.
as they sign it.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta.
Then you just take it, throw it in the personnel file, and you have it.
Right.
So when someone complains, you didn't tell me how to wear a hard hat. You didn't tell me how to wear a vest. You didn't tell me.
Headlights on.
Right,
You
exactly.
signed it.
Right, exactly. No, that's, yeah,
It
that's,
was witnessed.
I think when we do the new building too, used to see them on military. My dad worked in military bases. When you're pulling out of a garage, there'd be signs like headlights on at all times.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wipers,
Sure.
wipers on, headlights on. Like
Yeah.
maybe even put signs like that as
Yeah.
you're leaving every day. When it's all done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's not.
that's handbook.
Probably policy with the building. That. Like,
Water and sewer commitment. That's our big bill.
Big bill.
Yeah,
Won't pay it.
this is our bill to Brockton, yes, technically.
And
Let's see. We have
Get bill notes.
water commitment for $1,309,990.92. Sewer $1,139,910.84. And then some interest in past due. So the grand total is $3,019,943.12.
That's in line what we were talking about before, right? The amount.
That's how much is going to get billed out.
Build out. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what gets billed.
Yeah. Plus minus
that's
other
what
years.
we should
though?
get. That's what we're billing out. That's what
Yeah.
we should get.
Get back if
back.
everybody pays their bill.
I get you, yeah.
Their bill.
It's not far removed from what we've taken care of in the past, right?
It's on average with
It's an average.
Okay.
obviously the time of year it varies. You know,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, the water bill will be more in the fall because it's the summertime. People doing
Right.
gardens.
Yeah.
So
all right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the water
Motion
and sewer
to
commitment.
accept the bill as read.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. We can send out the bill.
Agree on that.
Executive session.
Oh, sorry.
Is one good? No, I don't know.
No, we do. Everything's sorry.
Sign it, yeah.
Done.
Nothing for executive, right? No.
There is, yeah.
Oh, is it?
So we need to go into executive session in accordance to Mass General Law, Chapter 39, subsection 223B, number 6.
Got it.
Consider the purchase, exchange, taking, lease, or value of real property if such discussion may have a detrimental effect on the negotiation position of the governmental body. So I entertain a motion to go into executive session.
All right, and make a motion. We go into executive session.
You just need three of them.
Just need three.
Three's good.
Second.
I'll say
Three.
All right, motion second. Roll call. Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yep.
Ken,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. And I'm turning off the recorder.
Oh,
All right, we're back.
there you go.
in
I didn't hear a
regular.
second.
We're back in regular session.
I second it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Back in regular session. Superintendent updates. Bruce.
So a week or so ago, I completed reasonable suspicion training, kind of what you were talking about earlier.
Ooh.
Now, I've done it before. I did it many years ago, and it's just something you should update once in a while. So I completed that
Good.
again, and that's just give you a certificate saying you've gone through the training too. So if you look at somebody and say, you don't look right, I need
Right.
you to drug test now, you can do that because you
Good.
went through the training.
Yep.
So I updated that. I think he forwarded the board an email from a Rowena Ave resident
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she can make noise. She's like we were here. I think last year the governor, the MassDOT person,
Yeah.
the state rep about paving Rowena Ave, and I just wanted to go over with the board that we will go down there. We'll patch it up, but I really don't have plans on spending Chapter 90 money on Rowena Ave this year
Good.
for all the same reasons we always say.
Oh yeah.
Right.
She claims, oh, trucks are in and out every, all the time because of the pumping station. Well, they're not heavy trucks; they're 1-tons, and they go down there maybe once or twice a day.
Yeah.
They're not creating, a significant wear and tear on the road more than the in and out traffic. I mean, there's
Right.
a landscaper who lives on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Two of them. Yeah.
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 So, we'll do the best we can with patching it up, but the Chapter 90 money, we're putting towards other roads. And so I just wanted to because she may eventually come to a meeting or contact you all.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page on that.
We are. My only thought, just want to say, not to labor it, should we want to consider like what you do plan to do each year? Send it to the Board of Selectmen, and that way, like they know about it too, and that's our plan. So there's no challenging. Hey, can you do this road? Can you do that road?
He actually has a
I
list.
thought he had
No,
a
he does.
list.
He does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you
Yeah.
share it with
Well, typically, if they call the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Selectmen will just pass them down to us. You know what I mean? It's not like she's not really going to the Board of Selectmen. She went like over everybody. Last
No, I understand.
State.
Right. But if Board of Selectmen know too what DPW is doing, like it's not. We don't just make it up.
right.
Like this year, you're like, I'll do whatever.
So
Star Street or something.
I think once we have it set, so they haven't even passed the legislation that they said they were going to. That they sent out a letter to the town saying we were going to get $210,000 more dollars in our Chapter 90 allotment. So
Right.
it's going to put us up over $500,000 in Chapter 90,
Which is great.
and we have
Nice.
some other money. So if that all goes through, we have over $800,000 to spend this year. So I have a list, but I don't know how much those roads are going to cost.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have, now's the time where you have Kel Edwards come out and you hand them the list. Now, usually the list is like 3 or 4 streets. Now my list is like 7 or 8 streets.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so once we get the dollar amounts on those, the real dollar amounts, then I can say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
You have a potential list. We
I
don't
have a
set
potential-
list.
Well, priority list. You have-
Well, and to your point, we don't even know. Like I said, that 2 extra monies
If it's
hasn't been.
right, it's supposed to be like they're supposed to vote like an extra $100 million
Right.
to distribute through the cities.
adult cities and that. Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And
All right. No, I'm just.
The fact that they sent the letter seems like,
a lot of funding is drying up.
yeah,
I'm just saying, it shouldn't be, you or us just fending off
right.
all the townspeople. Like we.
But I mean,
We do try.
If it was a short year, like our normal year, it was gonna be Charles, Whitman Ave,
mentioned-
Charles Court, and Davis Ave, and that might have ate it all up right there.
Yeah.
And again, those are roads that get traffic. The town park, Whitman, right off of Whitman Center,
Yeah.
right next to the town hall.
Yeah.
And they're a mess. If we're able to expand on that, I was looking at Lance, Burton, Kenwood Drive, even though it kind of goes against, we don't like to do dead ends. It's like a third.
It's so bad.
It's the worst road in Whitman.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
so, another one of the worst roads in Whitman is the lower end of Indian Trail, right where the police chief lives. He never says a word. Like I drove down there today after
That's
somebody
horrible.
said something like, "This is
Is it
horrible."
going on the curb? I haven't been down there.
Down, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
lower
It's
end.
the lower end, yeah. It's
Yeah.
bad in front of Tim. It's even worse on the other.
Right.
Oh,
So
you're
if you
talking
went,
going
if you went up
into
the
the
hill
street,
100 feet
yeah.
and went down the
Right.
lower section, then back up the hill with another 100 feet on the end, you'd probably, people would say, why don't they do the whole neighborhood? The whole neighborhood would be 600,000,
Yeah.
But that's really bad down there.
Yeah, it's where all the water.
All the water
all
goes.
There's the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll start getting prices. I'm also going to be working a meeting with the Hanson superintendent tomorrow because we're going to try to figure out the town lines on Franklin Street, because starting at Rowena and heading towards East Bridgewater, the road's horrible, right to the tracks, and
To the
then
tracks.
that little section over the brook And then when you hit where it says entering East Bridgewater, they had redone that some years ago, and it's still nice. So I want to get together with him and see, like, what do you think you own? Like, and I looked at our GIS, and we know from when Dennis, we were talking about water mains on that street.
Yep.
The houses on the right are Whitman residents, but,
Yeah.
but to do a water main, it was going to go down the dirt because we don't own the asphalt.
Right,
That
yeah.
asphalt is in Hanson. And I just want to see what the Hanson superintendent thinks. Because he agrees that it needs a new road.
Yeah.
But when we go patching, we go up there with our patch truck all the time. On that section.
Okay. What? Basically up to the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Whitman residents are on the right, on that side,
Right.
one side of the street.
Right. The one side's Whitman, the other
Yeah,
side's Hanson.
other side's Hanson.
Hey, Bruce, I was at the 150th and I was sitting with somebody, right? They were talking about Franklin Street and Hanson. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
just
you-
past the high school.
Right.
Yep.
When you're smack dab, like in the middle of the high school property, it says entering Hanson, right?
Correct.
And then you go down the street a little ways, and after you cross the tracks, it says entering East Bridgewater.
There's a
Yeah.
big gap.
So, like,
No man's land.
yeah, if you look at the GIS, it has the property line, it has the line.
Right.
We're pretty sure it's through the high school.
And it shows that most of that road, after starting at Rowena, the line goes like this, and that whole road is Hanson right to the tracks. And there's a little small section that supposedly Whitman owns that's between the tracks and East Bridgewater. It's probably 150 feet.
But we paid
Big
more.
company.
We paid more than Hanson to take care of that area, right? Is that what?
Yeah, as you say, we've been patching it.
They've
We've
been
been
patching
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like
yeah.
if we go get if we have the hot box out, the
Right.
guys are on front. Bob will usually hit it, and mainly because it drives Bob nuts that they don't, and they just like it's all holy. And probably most people probably think it's Whitman. Like average, even though it says entering Hanson coming the other way,
Right.
I would imagine most people think that's Whitman.
Because Rowena is
Correct.
Whitman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And those house
And
addresses,
and the house addresses, if you look them
Whitman,
up,
yeah.
are all Whitman
Yeah.
on the right side there.
So
the house on the left.
This person's complaint was that
Is in
the
the-
sewage and everything else Whitman has to take care of, but that's not true.
No, were you here when they were talking about the houses they wanted to build beyond Rowena? In the back there, along from Rowena down to the tracks?
No.
In order for the guy to build that, he had to tap onto some pipes that came off Rowena Ave and ran through the backyards of
Which is
everybody,
Whitman.
which
So
would be Whitman.
Right.
We couldn't dig up the
There's
road.
no sewer. There's
Yeah.
no main sewer in that roadway. So when they were building those houses, I think he wanted us to put it in,
Yeah.
and we're like, no, we're not going to.
Okay.
And did they go on septic or did they?
it's in their backyard. Right?
No, the sewer's in their backyard. It actually connects to where.
That's right, out in back of Ritter.
Ritter's,
Oh, Ritter. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Ritter has a pipe that
That
comes
pipe,
through
yes. Yeah.
They have a pump station that goes through, goes underneath the tracks, and it goes down the backside of all them houses.
Right.
Down to Rowena, and there's a 2-inch plastic water line that runs from Rowena down the back of them houses, but with the exception of the last two.
I think they're
Okay.
wells.
The last two, they were wells, because that didn't go far enough.
Right.
Because
Same
the track.
That's what I remember too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so the last two are on wells. Same thing.
Right.
They wanted us to, even all those other houses. It's not even the way to do it. They ran a 2-inch plastic that's
Yeah.
feeding like 4 houses.
4 houses.
4 houses.
Youch.
2-inch plastic.
Oof.
So basically, they're all on one service.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But things like that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's one house, one service. But they wanted us to run a new water line
course.
to feed those last 2
Oh, yeah.
houses. Because they came to a meeting. I remember him coming.
there's-
Yeah, I remember him
Nothing
coming to me.
definite.
Yeah.
It was a
That
father
whole
son.
situation. All right.
Was it?
No, the
Okay,
road,
yeah.
most of the road is Hanson. It's just all the houses are Whitman. So you naturally would think, well, the houses are Whitman, the road's Whitman.
Yeah.
But it's
And
not.
the water and sewage, not a problem for Whitman.
Well, there's no water and sewer on that street.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I think there's some
On-
misconceptions
yeah,
out there.
Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah.
I think. It,
Well, again, you just naturally think,
If I live in
the
Whitman,
house has a
yeah.
Whitman address, but
Yeah.
the street isn't in Whitman.
I bet you the people who live there probably think that's a Whitman road.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
they're a Whitman resident. They the road right in front of their driveway. They probably think is Whitman.
Yeah.
But it's not.
That's what this other
Where
person
the-
thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
I mean, we end up. I don't think there's any bound markers up there, so we end up I'm getting a price from Kyle Gotti to see if he can give me some bottom markers up there,
Yeah.
just to make it so like if it's 200 grand worth of asphalt, and they use TL Edwards now, which is good, Hanson. So
Yeah.
like if we have TL Edwards come in and do the whole thing, we know exactly how to split it up.
Okay, sure, good.
Gotcha.
Uh,
So is that something you're gonna do? Have Gavi come in and do?
well, I left a message on his phone yesterday.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
meeting with Hanson tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Let's see what if Hanson says. Oh yeah, that's all ours. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
See you
okay.
later.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah.
How
I
do
hear you.
you plan on doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people, like, you know,
Gotcha.
I get a little grief about it,
Yeah.
and
I'm sure.
I tell people, it's not Whitman.
Because they're Whitman
It's
addresses.
just the
Yeah.
assumption. man.
Kevin
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like the board to entertain a vote to, and it might have been done 150 years ago, but I don't know, I want to put signs, little signs up at the entrance of Memorial Field on each entrance where people walk in, saying motorized vehicles prohibited. So now every kid has a little dirt bike this big, whether it's electric or gas. It
Right.
doesn't matter. Some of them, there's gas
And they go in
ones,
the
there's electric
grass.
ones.
Yeah.
And they're prohibited from the park, which is a
Right.
challenge already, but we're
Yeah.
going to catch up to them this summer.
Okay.
And as the good weather gets here, but they're going out into Memorial Field too.
Of course.
You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure I can put a sign up there that this board, you guys are, the overseers of Memorial Field, just
Can we?
motor vehicles prohibited, not internal combustion engines, anything with a motor, electric. And
Electric
Yeah.
gas. Yeah.
Would that make sense for the middle school as well? Why not? Middle school, you got all the
That wouldn't be us. Though.
That's not us. Though.
Yeah.
That's a what?
That's not us.
Not us.
That's not us. but
That's the
also
school.
School department.
School department.
The whole section back there.
So we're finding the kids, even with like the thing that looks like a real dirt bike, but it's only like this
Oh,
high
yeah.
and it's electric.
Yeah.
They're doing donuts on the dirt paths in the park.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be buying a tractor trailer load of path mix for the park in a couple of weeks as soon as
Correct.
it stops raining, and we're going to redo the paths like we do every few years and smooth them all
So
out.
is the
You know,
legal
just
thing
doing
turned over so you can confiscate the vehicle, the bike,
Well,
the vehicle,
the only
whatever?
thing I can
No.
do is call the
I don't know
police.
if we could do
Yeah.
that.
I'm saying.
It's enforceable, but once you put the
okay.
sign up, now it's enforceable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
You know, that's all.
We
It's
have
notice,
signs in
yeah.
the park that say motor vehicles. But we don't have any. I'm just going to do like the size of a no parking sign.
Okay.
It's not going to be big and ugly. Just right when you walk by,
Go for it.
You can't miss it.
Go for it.
Sounds
Do
good.
we consider the battery operated, the lithium batteries,
That's a
like the
motorized
scooters? It'd
Yes.
be okay. That is as
100%
well.
because
Okay.
Still
there's so
tearing
many
it
of them around too, and they
Yeah.
got enough power to tear up.
Oh
the
yeah.
field or whatever.
Okay.
You need a motion for that?
Get her done.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't even need a motion.
I think
sure?
he's just letting us
Post
know.
it.
Just let him do his job.
You might have to post too. Probably different
And
you know,
lastly,
whatever.
sorry about my long list tonight.
No problem.
Yeah, figures.
So for the new building, when they gave me the estimate of how much it was going to cost to the heat and electricity, and I had him tell me like 3 times because I didn't believe it. He said 90 grand. I'm like 90 grand for heat and electricity.
A
So
month?
we
Has it
look
a
back.
month?
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Just
My, so we look back to before we tore that down when we were operating out of these 3 buildings. So my gas and electric that I pay out of my operating budget, I don't have a separate line that says, electricity and gas. It comes out of the same money that I use to fix a truck or buy 2 ton of asphalt
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
a lawnmower or anything.
Yeah.
So that's my operating bill. My operating bill is $188,000. So
All
if
right.
it's going to cost $90,000 to heat, I need to up my budget, which I never up my budget.
Yeah.
But I explained to the FinCom. So we got some numbers from the police station because that's a big building.
Yeah.
See how much they pay for utilities, and we looked at how much we paid per year in 2023 before we tore the building down, and we're still operating out of here. We were only paying around 10 grand a year for heat and electricity, which is kind of surprising. But we kept the heat like really low
Yeah.
in the big garage over there, and
Okay.
The Woodstone.
which
You didn't have any heat.
Yeah.
yeah. So in half that garage doesn't have heat.
I know.
So even though the square footage is there.
Yeah.
So we're going up to 27,500 to 800 square feet. Where we were at like 15,000 square feet when we were paying 10 grand.
Yeah.
The police station is at almost 17,000 square feet. The police station pays 46,000 and change a year for heat and electricity at about 17,000. So we're going to be 10,000 square feet more.
Okay.
They're 24/7. So granted, they're on at the same temperature probably the whole time. Where
Yeah.
ours is going to be computerized, probably drop down when we leave, and come back in, go back up an hour before we get there, and the big garage will be probably only at 52 or something, just enough to keep the trucks warm.
Yeah.
But that all being said, I still need more money in the budget. They only went up when they did the final budget that they're submitting to the selectmen and the FinCom, which we found out this week. They only went up. They changed mine. They only went up $3,700.
Oh,
So I said,
what good's that going to
so I
do?
called me to Beth and I said, "Is this is without an override? Is that why it's so little?" And she goes, "No, that's with an override. Okay,
Oh.
with an
Yo.
override, we're not going to give me enough funding to pay the electric and
Right.
gas in the brand new building."
Yeah.
So, based on the square footage and what we were paying before, at 10 grand. So I say, okay, I already had 10 grand in the budget. I said minimum I have to go up 15.5.
Yeah.
And now give me, and the 5 was because I'm getting prices to have a cleaner come in once a week. It's going to be a lot more than what we paid for this little
Of
building.
course.
Yeah.
And and that's splitting it with Dave too, because we split the cleaning costs of this. So
Yeah, that's my question. So I'll make up a number. So the real number might be 60, 65, not the 90.
Yeah, that's
I'm sure he gave us a high number. Basically, if they're paying 50, we get more square footage. I mean, 24/7. It's still, like I said, it's still heat. So we're probably around 60 because we have a lot more inefficient space to heat than they do.
garage doors.
Every time you open that garage door, you know what I mean? Big open areas. They're majority office with majority space.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's 60 grand. It's split 30-30. Just right. Or
No.
well, what? I guess for easy math, part of that is paid from the water side. Correct.
No.
Enterprise.
Well, I don't know, because,
It
this is
all
what I was
goes
gonna
out.
get in with my operating budget, because the town takes out indirect costs out of the water, almost $600,000 every year.
Right.
Out of it for indirect costs, and 35,000 goes towards the DPW expenses.
Right.
So I don't know,
But that's what I'm saying.
Just to let you know, so I don't know
It's
where
not fair
that would fit
that
in.
if the entire 60 grand is hitting, I'll say, the other operating budget. If 50% of the buildings used for water and sewer and 50% of the buildings used for highway, park, and tree, then water and sewer should be paying 30 and highway, park, and tree should be 30. So the increase to, the highway, park, and tree operating budget would only need to go up 30,000, not 60.
Right. That's a good point.
So or be at 30, like
be
at 10.
that.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And then
that
Does
being
that
said-
not happen now?
No. So that being said, he
So what-
has. Let me,
What?
let me
Oh,
put-
sorry. Okay, go ahead.
He has 30. He has that says 35 goes to DPW expenses. So that could be considered ink, paper, office supplies, everything, because every bill that comes in to the office, from WB, I pay out of my operating budget. Like and every electric bill and every heating bill, I pay out of my 188. At no time do we say. At no time do I get an electric bill during the 12 months out of the year or a gas bill and say, "Yeah, take that one out of the water and sewer this month." That's not how it works. That 35 grand, I don't know where that goes. But they say on paper that it
there's a whole
comes to
bunch of stuff on
DPW indirect costs to the DPW. But it's
That's
not
the
like
town
they-
hall charging the water and sewer department, right?
for whatever,
Well,
whatever
Legal.
they do for
Every time we call Peter,
have you ever seen the list and what's
I'm
on?
sure. But
It's
they process all the bills. You know what I
I
mean?
pay for all the mailing and processing out of my operating budget.
But they're processing the payments.
No,
So it'd be a different.
I'm not. The value we can argue about what things cost and what, but there is a cost that the town hall incurs for water and sewer. I'm not going to argue
I'm not
how much that cost
I'm
is.
not arguing about all of it, but there is some stuff on there that there's
But I'm saying, why, if the water and sewer is using part of the building and is cost to maintain that building, why isn't the water and sewer paying for I think they should.
It's a question.
And I think,
Should be
you get that electric bill,
Yeah.
okay, 60-40. 60 highway, 40, whatever, and take, I've seen how you code or whatever you want to call it, when you put the numbers on it of where the money's coming from, or even I've seen plenty of bills, like the fuel bill that gets split, on the different warrants. You know what I mean? Why couldn't we do the same thing with the electric?
So I would say that would be a much easier pill to swallow when I say to Mary Beth, we need X amount of dollars to pay the what the projected cost of running that building.
Right.
And so if you add 15 grand to my operating budget, and 15 grand of that is he has to be able to take 15 more grand out of, raise his budget by 15 grand to cover that cost also.
Yeah.
Right.
Not so he uses it, but they add 15 grand to some kind of part of his operating budget to pay.
Yeah.
To pay.
Makes sense.
I mean,
maybe
I don't,
I
mean,
I could ask.
to be honest, I probably just assumed that was the way it was handling all the time. And I have a separate question, but I'm not going to ask it now, on something else. But and that goes for whatever else. I guess it's probably just the utilities is the first. I think everything else is probably pretty well separated. You buy your stuff, and obviously labor and salaries and all that is split.
That's why. That's why, I'm the print maniac over here. That's Melissa, right? And Lonnie, I always get on. What are you printing that for? What are you printing that for? Because it's paper. It's ink.
Why
It's
you
everything.
printed
It's
in
stuff
color?
out.
I go, you
Why
printed
use
that
the
on
color
color and
printer
stuck
for
it on my
that?
desk.
Color ink is more
Wow,
expensive.
you're
Why you use that?
Well, if we're able to buy electronics and this and that and stuff, so we can go a lot of paperless,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's, you know what I mean? Not for nothing. We're using part of water, sewer, and earnings to build the building.
Yeah.
I mean, why shouldn't we use water and sewer earnings to maintain the building?
Right.
Plus, you didn't even address the car wash. The car wash is going to be taking a lot of water, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Well, we don't charge ourselves for water.
Yeah, but
But
still.
it has to go.
No town building gets charged for water.
Right, no town building gets charged for water.
My department goes.
But doesn't part of that water go out?
Oh, yeah, it comes in and goes out.
Right. So
The town pays for it, but we don't recoup it.
Right.
it pays for in and out?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
every town building.
Wow. Because that's going to be increase, the car wash.
Yeah, there'll be more.
Okay.
Yep.
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 But I mean, I don't know
We can see, yeah.
how much more. I mean, we wash vehicles all the time now. We're
Right off the hydrant. And so it's
True, yeah.
we go open a hydrant.
I
and
get
wash the
Joe's
sand.
point though, but now it's not going to be laying on the ground. It's going to be going in the sewer system, which is
Right, so the sewer,
Okay, yeah.
the sewer.
That's
I
right.
mean, your sewer bill without enough and nothing. All the trench drains and all that other stuff that's now going in the sewer. The only thing not going in the sewer is the roof drains.
Right.
All your trench drains before in the old building, I'm
Yeah.
sure, just went out the back.
Oh,
it.
so the floor drains in there are going to go in the sewer? I thought they went into a separator.
They go into a separator, then
Separated
into the
first,
sewer.
then-
Oh,
The separator is just to get the oils
Clean.
out.
right.
Yeah. So that's what I meant, Kevin.
Everything inside goes into the sewer. Yes, you're
So
good
that's
point.
going to be a little
Yes,
bit extra.
there will be.
Yeah.
I'll say it's an unfunded cost. I'll say the water and sewer department absorb those costs for every town building, whether it's the public works, town hall,
We'll
library.
probably have to have a conversation it makes sense to me. We'll have to have a conversation with Mary Beth and just say,
Yeah, because I tried up in my water and sewer budget to help pay for some of the costs because all the parts for water main parts are going up. So I wanted to go up like $10,000. She only wants to give me $3,000.
Ouch.
You should have said 20.
But that's from
Well, that's what I mean. It's
from
out
the
of
enterprise account.
one. She's cut. She
She may just want not.
She
have
wanted
to.
it like
explain
in
the-
my budget.
Yeah.
It says building repair and maintenance, which is actually the sewer maintenance line. She wanted to cut me $25,000 out of that. I mean, I got a pump station right now that's rigged together right now because I need to possibly replace the control panel.
So
sure?
I think minimum we should ask her
Real
to
good.
put a up his budget, his operating budget to specifically pay for utility bill in the new building by like 15 grand. So if I go up 15, he goes up 15, and I already have 10 kind of earmarked because that's what I've been paying.
Yep.
The other question is like, when we move out of this building,
See you guys. Thank you.
see you later.
Yeah,
Who's gonna pay the utilities on that? Like, we'll be here we got records in here. It's gonna be a long time, but eventually, like, this is gonna have its own meter for gas and electric.
I
We'll cross that
I
bridge.
think that's the get the hell out of the building, so then the town takes it over.
Right.
Yes.
So I know
It's
the files and the Dead Sea Scrolls and
Yeah.
and give yourself a deadline and move out of the building. Then it's a letter to the selectman's office. The Public Works has vacated
Yeah.
the property,
Pricing on a shred.
and maybe cheaper just throw it in the dumpster, but
oh,
price it up.
Well, a lot of it has,
Secret
like,
files.
We had employee records over in the other garage
Yeah.
from the 80s with social security numbers on it and everything
Oh,
else.
that's true. Yeah.
Upstairs over there.
I don't know. You showed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Oh well, Dave, what do you got?
Well, like I said, we had one at pump station go down last Friday. It's kind of right together. I just don't have the money in my budget to replace part of the control panel because I can't just, the part that went is like an inverter, but other parts got burnt out. So it's kind of like cutting an extension cord, put it together, plugging it in so the control panel can still work. I just don't have the money. And I even tried looking through articles and everything to see if there was something I could get money from. But so that happened. So I don't know if I mentioned it before. So the Clean Water Trust finals came through. We got the grant for the asset management plan, which is the total project is a little under 300,000, and we're going to get the grants for 150. So the whole thing will only end up costing us about half. So
That's great.
That's good.
yeah. What we had spoken, Bruce said, they talked to Bruce, we talked to Todd, we thought kind of good idea, the generator that's in that green building, I'm getting costs to have it put at Belcher.
Okay.
We had one time, there was an article to put a permanent generator at Belcher, but it was turned in to help fund
The building.
the building. So, but it was a good idea, so we probably I won't have enough to do all of it, but I could probably do like a little bit this fiscal year and then the rest the next fiscal year.
What's the age of this generator here?
What did it come from the fire station?
It was at the fire station, but it
It's
has
still-
no
it's-
hours left.
Yeah,
It could be 25 years old, but it's
got like
Oh, really? It's got, okay.
yeah.
Right,
all
and
right.
they're
Yeah.
routinely
Reusing
they
it.
come
I mean,
in.
instead of paying like 60, 70, 80 grand to do it, it
Yeah.
might cost us 12.
30 or 12.
Yeah,
That's
that'll be worth it. Then.
We'll
Yeah.
do some of the work. We'll dig. We'll pour the pad. We'll do all
Yeah.
that type of work and everything. So
Eventually, yeah,
we'll move it down there. We'll set it. So
makes sense.
what was the other thing? The grant, the generators. So going to the capital pro with the projects that I have. Just to let you know. So out of all the capital projects, it totals came up to like 530,000. But I've been going through all the open articles, and there's a lot of articles that I can't do anything with anymore. So it looks like I'd be turning back to water authority return earnings about $442,000
Oh,
for that, and then so that's and then with the 530 for the whole thing, the 420 say 442, and then the 150 for the grant. That brings it like down to like 370, and then the 442. So I'm still gonna be able to put about 72,000 back in. Even it's got to be a wash what I put in, but I'll still be putting money back in the water and sewer.
So you're going to have articles for $540,000 at town meeting, but we got 150 coming in a grant.
Grant, and I'm putting back.
Do the other articles? Does that town meeting, or does that just happen? The money going back. So the articles that we did,
that just goes
that
back.
just goes back.
I just
Yeah.
have to write my letter to the town
The
accountant,
accountant, and they move
they
it.
close it out and they return all that money back.
Okay.
So I'll still be putting money back in there because there's a lot of articles that were taken out that the projects never get done. I've tried pricing them out to do them now, and it's just I can't even come close.
So I think of that.
And there's articles like some of the stuff for some of the new trucks, we're all done with them. There's only a couple thousand are left in there, but it's, I'll be putting all that back.
When you say putting it back, where does it go? Back to
Water
where?
and sewer.
Water and sewer.
Oh,
Like
it is.
water and
So
sewer.
I'm going to be putting money in, but it's going to be a wash on.
Yeah,
I won't have to
okay.
take anything out.
Gotcha.
And say if it comes up at town
Makes
meeting,
sense. Yeah.
because who knows what's going to happen at this town meeting? When you're asking for $500,000,
Jeez, yeah.
again, it's water and sewer enterprise. It doesn't affect your tax rate.
Some of the stuff is
I think
required
it's.
by the DEP. So
I think if someone asks, it's
Yeah.
we're returning money on previous articles that work was completed less than allotted. The net effect. I think I don't want to say spin it, but
Right.
it's not affecting you.
Yep. Yeah, there's no raising water or sewer rates or anything. It's all coming out of them.
Right.
So, and then really the only other thing is I talked to Josh and I started looking into a few things because the cost for our processing and data to do water bills and stuff, and I know the board had mentioned trying to do it, for. I'm looking into new billing programs.
Okay.
I've reached out to a few other towns and stuff to try to get it on. I'll work with Josh in it because we might be able to eliminate CDS and all their stuff so we can do everything basically from here. And then it also will give the residents options to either get their bill emailed to them, text to them, or they can send we can send paper. So maybe it'll lessen the amount of mailing costs and stuff, hopefully. So
There you go.
just trying to.
We're gonna move into like the 90s.
Yeah.
Hey, by just getting the meters, we went from the 50s to the 80s.
Yeah.
That's going to be another capital because the meter project is already 5 years old right now. So the meters are only good for 10 years. So in another 5 years, we won't have to replace the whole meter. It'll be easier. We just need to replace the register.
And I'd say, as we're seeing if they're, it's like anything. Yeah, okay, we're going to replace them. Well, that's the salesman telling you they're going to be replaced every 10 years. I mean, if everything's still working, we can
Yeah, you don't have to rush it.
stretch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then with the asset management plan and what Apex did for the lead service line inventory, we're going to get a lot of our tie cards are going to be on a computer now. So I'm going to purchase another tablet, so all three of the water and sewer vehicles will have a tablet in there with water ties, sewer ties, and all that stuff and everything. So now they won't have to, if there's an emergency, it's not coming back here. Got to
Digging through.
a copy of this, print that. Everything will just be pulled out.
6 feet off the 18-inch oak tree that's now a 24-inch oak tree.
Yeah.
So I'll be working on that too. That's about it.
No, I'm all for the electronic, and that too. If we want to go to a, 3 times a year billing cycle, it's just going to make
We
that
could
whole
do
process
3
a lot.
times a bit. Well, that's why it was up in my budget to try to possibly do at least 3 times a year right now. But me looking at some of these programs and stuff, we should be able to eliminate home and just do everything from here.
Right.
Because where we send stuff to have printed to get mailed, like the lead line survey and stuff that people got mailed and stuff, consolidated. CDS uses consolidated, and we're paying them to go. So if I get this program, the two, Melissa and Lonnie can do everything in there, and then they just send it over to there, and they get, or they get emailed. So
And there's no, I wouldn't think there was no requirement that they have to get a paper bill. No. Statute or anything. I wouldn't think there was. I mean, your electric bill, your other utilities
all come
electronic.
So the like Rockland, I get mine through my email.
Yeah, I mean, I do my Rockland tax bill I get electronically.
Yep.
I just didn't,
I don't
where it's a
think that,
utility, But
Yeah, no. They
but
can do,
you know, your electric bill comes and your cable bill, and so
Yep.
it's just the utility. So
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
know if there's anything special, but you know, if you know other towns that have done it, then we're good.
Yep.
You know, we're doing.
Also
I
have
just started doing this, so it's
Yep.
it's a work in progress. But hopefully,
No,
maybe
it-
by next year we'll
I mean,
have it.
it'll make it easier. It might get us paid more, return. You know, more bills getting quicker, or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how much, what the percentage
Like
that
you
we
said, going to
collect.
the 4-time billing, it you know the residents probably be more apt to. Okay, let me pay this now.
yeah.
Smaller.
Could ask the residents too if they want the auto pay, where they give them the
Right.
bank account routing and account, and they'll just.
Yep.
So I do that with Verizon. It's just okay. Yeah, I get an email says here's your Verizon bill.
Right.
It's
Yep.
been paid. Great, thank you.
Be honest. I mean, that's something the town. Like I said, I mean, I do that
They
with
think
my
the collectors.
my Rockland tax.
Yeah.
I just get the receipts that it was paid because it's just automatically linked.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Or I'll-
I'm surprised that town isn't even looking at doing that. You know, for tax bills, same thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
because that would save some bucks too.
all right, all good.
Oh,
What do
I
you
did
got?
one more thing to mention.
Jeez.
I just wanted to mention that the guys did driver training last week. Was it last week? Last week. So the whole crew, 2 separate days. My town's insurance company brought in a trailer, and inside that trailer is a driving simulator. So it simulated a dump truck with a plow during a snowstorm. And they did classroom. You know, like 8 of them did it, you know, Tuesday, and the other groups did it Wednesday. And they went in there and they, you know, did the classroom. Then they went out to the simulator and did the simulator, and they, you know, get a certificate saying that they did the driver training, and it helps with the town insurance. And
That's great.
you know,
okay.
Good.
Sounds good.
They drive.
Dave, I meant to ask you, Beaver Street. Anything else come up with that off Auburn? No. Okay.
No, I put in applications for SRF loans and grants and stuff
Yeah.
to try to get to pay for it, and we don't have enough money in the. If I took all that out of water and sewer retained earnings
Yeah.
to do that, we'd probably have less than 500,000.
Forget that idea. Yeah. Okay.
I think there was almost 1.3 in there right now.
Wow.
You haven't had any more leaks on that street then? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's right.
Probably not. It's all pieced together by plastic, anyways.
Your well, it sounds like you got to tweak a couple of your budget line items. All your articles. Also,
all the articles went through.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
so
Okay.
including the South Ave. What was it, the $100,000 or 100? What did we ask for South Ave?
For the tip, 3.
The tip,
It was
Environmental.
no 2.
220,
220.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Everything was approved by the FinCom and the selectmen. So it's just the operating budget that's, I mean, the actual Article 2. You know, if if the override don't go through, then you know every department. Like we had a dire department head meeting, and every year they're dire. This year it's a little worse than usual.
You're right.
And you know, layoffs at the fire, layoff at the police, layoff at the DPW, which I
Yeah.
was told that wasn't going to be a thing, and now they changed it. Closed the library.
Yeah.
You know,
2 or 3 layoffs in town hall.
And
Yeah.
it was like anybody
different
that
departments.
had a 3-person department is going to get cut down to 2, with the exception of the town administrator's office and the treasurer.
as it is, my
Right.
budget.
That's what I think.
request-
Like the clerk's office, the
Yeah.
assessor's office.
even with the override, she reduced my budget request.
Yep.
So, like, if that goes through, my salary line, not the operating line, but my salary line, she reduced that, even with. So, if that goes through, we may be looking. I mean, if that's even with the override. So, if that goes through, we'll probably be looking at eliminating Saturday leaf piles. And that's something we'll have to discuss because it's about what we spend on that.
And you'll hear the townspeople bitch and moan, but it's like, hey,
One thing when we talked about it was like, are you going to close the pool and the summer rec program? And she's like, well, no, it's not really a lot of money. It kind of pays for itself with the pool fees. I'm like, but the optics of it is you're laying off police officers and firefighters. So you're going to have the pool.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I would keep the cover on the pool all through 90-degree,
shit, yeah.
5-degree weather.
And then the
It's like-
people let them complain and say, "Hey, why? Yeah, okay, hello." Now I wish there was some way Mary Beth could cut the school department too, but they don't
No,
own
she
sep-
doesn't.
I know, which doesn't make sense. So whatever they say, she's got to make up for the at the
She's
DPW
really
fire
just
police.
a messenger and all.
Yeah.
A lot
No,
of-
I know,
a lot of
yeah.
People kind of like
I realize
think
that.
that she's the bad guy.
I would not want to be in her
gonna be
position.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Any other
New old business.
new old business?
So the building, the latest is
May
July, you're
14th.
saying?
It's still July.
I haven't read the notes.
They we're still going back and forth on the change order for the contract extension and the small amount of money we're going to pay them. A lot of legalese,
Second Wednesday.
but it's still July.
Okay.
Yeah, they moved up how quickly they want to tear down the front building. We'll be talking about that probably next Monday. But they initially we were planning on being out second week in May just to be safe and leave us a buffer of 2 weeks because they wanted us really out June 1st to start getting rid of the asbestos. Then they can tear it down.
Right.
Now they're saying they want to do it like
3 weeks ago.
yeah, as soon as we get out. So like we've been days had these guys in there going through all his inventory.
The new building's not ready.
No, I know. So they're saying that we could possibly use the N4 base to store stuff. Because I'm like, and then also we're like, when we get out of there, like even if we get all the stuff out of there, we need a place for the guys to meet in the morning,
Yep.
have their lunch,
Yep.
have a
Facilities.
Yeah.
bathroom, and so the police chief offered up their training room. He said, I go, so you want 17 guys showing up here at 6 or 8 in the morning every
boots,
day and
yeah.
then every day at lunch? And at the end of the day, he goes, I don't care. He goes, you got microwave, you got a coffee made, you got a lunch area, you got a full bathroom. I said, okay, well,
okay.
take it into consideration.
Nice of
Yep.
offer.
Wow.
Otherwise, like, Peter's like, well, we offered you guys trailers before. And I'm like, so you're going to get a trailer? You're going to get a couple trailers out here? And like,
I mean,
But that being said,
that's part of their phasing. Like we can't come out of one until the other one's ready to be occupied. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
part of their schedule.
yeah. And that was the discussion on
So-
Wednesday morning meetings. Like, and Frank was saying, like, we can't get in the building until there's an occupancy.
Occupancy permit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So we're not going to be partially in the building. But, like, so moving stuff. So I was going to bring this up Monday. Is like, I'm looking at buying a container, like, tomorrow. Another container. And then we'll keep it. But, like, to put, all our stuff in. So we're not moving into the new building before it's done and haphazardly. Well, they just jam it all in
Yeah,
there so
jam
we
in
can
one
get out of
room.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
because you got to tear it down. So,
You talking like a storage pod or something other?
yeah, like a
Like a
shipping
shipping
Conex
container.
box.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
used
Yeah.
ones, so they call them new, but they've been one trip,
Yeah.
watertight. They're good looking still. Some guy tried to flim flam me. He sent me an email saying he had 40 footers for $2,700. New, one trip. I'm like,
27.
I'll take it.
$100, huh?
Delivered. And then when I talked to him on the phone to go over like the account information and everything so we could make the
Well-
purchase, he's like, I go, yeah, I want that, the one right in your email that you sent me. He goes, oh no. He goes, so you those are 5,200.
He said,
What
"Oh,
happened
that
to
was
27?
The used ones are 2,750. I go, that's not what your email says. Oh, that must be a misprint. I go, misprint.
How convenient. Yeah.
Because he sent me pictures of the ones that were 2,750, and they're they're all rusted and
Yeah.
dented. They're still watertight, but I'm
Right.
like, I don't want that on the new.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
If you have to spend money painting it, it's not worth it.
I don't want Melissa to roll at my eyes anymore, so I'm like,
Are they rolling? I'm sorry.
You got a game?
No, I got a couple weeks off.
Okay. Well, we can make a motion.
Yeah. We need the next
Oh,
date.
excuse me, next meeting.
May
Tuesday, May 14th.
May 14th, right?
Yeah.
When's was the 5th or the 12th town meeting?
Tuesday? We're back to
The fifth.
It's the yeah. Yeah. It's the
No,
first
Wednesday
Monday.
the 14th.
Wednesday. 14th.
Wednesday the 14th.
Wednesday the 14th.
So
Oh, yeah, what'd I say? Tuesday?
You
I'm
did,
sorry.
but that's all right.
Town meeting's the 5th, right?
Yep.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Great.
it's
Cinco de
Wednesday.
Mayo.
Monday. Cinco de Mayo.
Well, town meeting's on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
You're gonna have, maybe have a margarita bar in the back.
Might help. Might help.
My anniversary's the day
It's your
before.
birthday, you said?
All right, I'll entertain a
45.
motion.
Make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey, hey.
Aye.
I